Hello everybody and welcome to Victoria 2, the Supernations mod, which is a mod that I feel like I got the hang of everything. It looks like it's pretty much completed. If you were here for my last series as Germania, then you got a taste of what I was kind of trying to aim for. But I completely revamped what my intentions were. So this time we are actually going to be playing as Japan. And the cool thing that I did is there's like 30 to 40 new events and decisions all revolving around specifically Japan and helping them form their version of a supernation, which I called the Greater Japanese Empire. You can always already see a little bit of what my test runs were, just making sure all the events worked. But it's going to be a pretty intense sort of campaign or let's play. My intention was to make it fairly story driven, so get that little campaign vibe going. But let's jump into it. So it's 1836. We start as Imperial Japan, which is a partially westernized nation. And so our goal right off the bat is basically to westernize as quickly as possible. And there's a few ways to do that. So first off, we're going to be encouraging intellectuals. And then second off, well, let's make sure our education spending is all the way up. Some of this other stuff doesn't really matter as much. Army maintenance doesn't need to be high, but it's not really going to make much of a difference. Let's put our tariffs up a little bit and let's let our economy balance out. But for the most part, what we have to do is we have to get, well, we obviously have to civilize, which is the entire point. Probably is our first 20 years or so. So there's probably a lot of sitting around. So I'm going to try to just skip past those parts so you guys have to sit through it. But once we're civilized, that's when the true fun begins. And so, yeah, we're already about 65% of the way to westernize. But like I said before, what we need to do is get up to 2% intellectuals to make sure that we get the full amount of research points that we want. And 4% ideally to get our education efficiency all the way up so we can get our literacy rate, because that also affects our base amount of research points, which is going to be really important just to make sure we're westernizing as quick as possible. So hopefully get westernized in the next 10 years or so. There's a few decisions that we can also end up taking, but this is basically when we westernize, where Emperor Meiji takes the throne. A few different things. I mean, there's only 4 here, but there's not that much. So, I mean, let's sort of just jump into this. First Minister, political awareness. Okay. I would have liked a research point guy, but that's fine. So we do got Ran Gaku, meaning Western learning. So that kind of helps us, well, Western's a little bit faster. Because we have isolationism, meaning we have lower research points. But we also have Rangaku, which increases our research points. But overall, that does decrease it, unfortunately, but not much we can do about that. And let's see. And we are going to be slowly increasing the amount of soldiers that we can field. So as we can, I am going to build some soldiers. So we should have about 2 armies worth of soldiers at some point. Economy is fluctuating a little bit. And tariffs is kind of building off of our artisans. So higher tariffs we have, our artisans are going to be getting, yeah, look at that. Another need. So half of our artisans are not getting any other needs. Okay, Western presence or Western influences. Let's get Western influences. So now we have 3.65. It's going up pretty rapidly because our intellectuals are increasing pretty fast as well. So you can already see the benefits of doing that little focus. Let's get more infantry. And this, let's see, let's just increase our taxes just a tad. Maybe a little bit more than that. And though this isn't as important, I'm going to lower this just a bit. Because we aren't going to be focusing on military, not until, well into the game. as soon as we're getting closer to westernizing. And we already have over 1,000 research points. As my first goal is to get this early industrialization. It gives us 20% civilization progress, so we have 85% total. Then I want to get, thinking, probably this transportation system. Yeah. I'll grab the transportation system just because it gives us railroads, and also we'll get a factory. If we get the factory off as soon as possible, we can use some of our national focus. Once it hits 4% intellectuals, we can't really use it for a whole lot else. So, independence or loyalty. I like the idea of getting loyalty, just because we do get better research points, but this is probably not going to happen because we do need 10 prestige. And I tried doing this before, but you can never, because your prestige decreases so quickly because you are a vassal nation. It's incredibly difficult just to get that, embrace the ideal of loyalty. So we'll take what we can. It'll actually totally decrease our research points. You know what? No, wait. Now it's fine. That's weird. We also have national confusion, so that kind of doesn't help that much. But I like the independence part. I would prefer loyalty, but it's fine. So our goal is to get probably 1 infantry per army. And then that's probably, yeah. So we'll have 4 infantry per army, 3 cavalry. We're not really going to be using this. By the time we actually do need our armies, we are going to... Ooh, I like this. Yeah, life needs. Let's get that down. Yeah, by the time we actually need our army, we'll be civilized and we'll have more techs. And we'll have research getting like dragoons. So we can balance out our army just that way. And look at that income. That is good stuff. Let's take this down. Let's increase our military spending and administration spending as well. That will help us get administrative efficiency up, which does help with increasing these pops over here when it comes to encouraging them. So we do have 2% pops, so now it's affecting our literacy rate. You can always see that climbing higher and higher every single day. And that's just because we're getting intellectuals every single day. But once that's 4%, then the efficiency rate doesn't go as high. But we should be like 0.1, I think 0.15 maybe? By the end of it. You'll see a pretty big change. That's really important as you're trying to westernize as quick as possible. The other thing you can do is encourage liberals, which helps with making these technologies cheaper. So upper house support. The more liberals in the upper house will make these 2 options cheaper. Though this one, I think it might actually... I'm not sure if that's reactionaries or conservative support this one. Pro-military. They're all pro-military, I think. But I know if it does go up as liberals go up. But especially the economic reforms. I'm not going to do that, though, just because what happens is you get a large portion of your population that's liberal. And then you get Jackman rebels. And my goal for this campaign is to actually be an empire the entire time. My Germania campaign, I went communist. In our North America or our USA campaign, we went fascist. But this campaign, I am aiming to be reactionary, to stay as an empire. So hopefully that goes well. I assume it will be. As soon as we have this, we'll probably end up encouraging reactionaries, which could pose a problem in and of itself, because if we do get rebels, I mean, I think it'll be fine. We have plenty of troops, it should be fine. My worry is getting rebels that might just overthrow our government to set back a reactionary, or set back our civilization progress. But I think it'll be fine. But my little last test run through the mod was basically me encouraging liberals, and then my entire army supported liberals. And so when they fired the rebellion, my armies all swapped over to rebels, and I lost. And the rebels took over. I became free. Which one is... I think this one's probably better. No, because foreign trading posts gives us... Oh, wait. It's in a province, isn't it? Life needs. But... I don't think it's going to affect our pops too bad. They're all uncivilized anyway, so it's probably fine. Let's just get rid of it. But like I was saying, I wasn't a vassal anymore. So immediately, the shogunate, Japan, and all of these guys declared war on me. And yeah, there's no hope I was going to win that. So my lesson is not to increase liberals. Unless I want to go for that sort of campaign. But I don't think I want to try being a republic. A republic might be interesting, but not what I'm aiming for. So we are, well, almost halfway there. We'll get more liberals regardless, so it's going to become a little bit cheaper, just not as quickly as some might want. I think this will probably cap out at 0.12. That's what it looks like. The direction it's heading. Bringing that literacy rate as high as possible is going to be really key for us, especially even after we civilize. We want to get ahead of tech and like actually get ahead of all the Europeans, and that's what we want. So what's going on in the world? Mexican restoration of order to Rio Grande. Looks cool. My test run that I did, what ended up happening was at the USA. So it's kind of cool. So the USA decided to get all their cores over here in British Columbia. That also gives the UK cores over here in all of this area. And the US lost, and so all this became the UK. It's a little weird looking, but I mean, whatever. Okay, so let's see. 4, 3. I mean, I think that should be fine. Because cavalry, they do have 2 maneuver, which is a plus there. They have 3.5 attack and 1 reconnaissance. But I'll still continue just building up these armies. And we'll replace them with dragoons later on. Well, it's looking good so far. Yep. We can already get all of these techs, but they're only like 10% civilization progress. I don't think there's any 15%, is there? Nope. So that'd be like getting 4 of these reforms to even do anything. But it'd be much quicker just to get this one and then get the improved railroads. So I think, because this one is 11,000 research points. This one's about 16,000. So in total that's 27,000. And these are all about around, oh, this is like 9,000. Never mind. So we would need 36,000 research points to fill out this tree, and only 27,000 if we go down economic reforms. And it's just going to get cheaper pretty much every year as liberals in the upper house increases. We almost have 4% intellectuals. Then we'll switch over to inspire reactionary loyalty, party-wise. And then otherwise, after that, once we get our first reform, it built a factory. So right away we can increase our clerks and craftsmen. Which is, by the way, one thing I did learn from my last campaign, is how to increase the efficiency. I'm not sure how many of you already knew this, or if I was just way behind and ignorant. But basically, keeping your clerks at 20% of your factory limit and the rest craftsmen is the best way to make sure you're making money off your factories. And so it kind of distracts from the whole in the beginning of the game, or when you're first westernized and stuff like that, or you have a lot of techs that increase factory efficiency. It kind of balances out a little bit. So it does make them profitable at the very least. So we could get these, but I do want to just get the factory up right away for the exact same reason that I just mentioned before. It helps us get those craftsmen as quick as possible. And you can already tell that it was like 16,100 points. Now it's 15,678. It keeps dropping. Yep. So that's good for us. It's already at minus 12.9%, while military reforms are minus 24.6%. Foreign trading post. We're going to not do this time. Decreases our consciousness as well, so that's a plus. Looks like Satsuma is already 75%, so are these guys. But we'll jump up to 80% pretty quickly here. John Brown's last raid. How's the U.S. doing? And you'll find that the U.S. is going to play a pretty decent role in this game, towards the latter portion. If you are curious, I did make a mod, is it mod DB? I think that's the website. I should know because I literally was just on there earlier today. But I uploaded my Supernations mod onto it. So if any of you guys want to play, I'll put the link down in the description. So you guys can access it if you guys want to play along. I'm going to be updating it periodically. So right now I just focused and fleshed out the entire Greater Japanese Empire. Sort of mission tree or event chain. Storyline, campaign mode. Whatever you want to call it. So it is 4% now. Almost there. But, so if you guys want to play it, I'll post in the description. You guys can go ahead and download it. I'll update it periodically. There's a few issues I ran into while I was trying to develop it. Because I started a few days, because about a week ago I started working on this specific campaign. And I honestly spent like over 30 hours just working on it. There's a lot of coding, and I learned a lot from it. I mean, I was basic in my understanding about how the coding works, but I feel like I learned quite a bit. So, ooh, industrial progress, let's get it. Oh yeah. And now I should be able to turn this to craftsman. No, with be civilized. Of course, of course, of course. That's fine. We'll get reactionaries. Actually, conservatives are fine. Yeah, no, we want conservatives, not these guys. So let's encourage conservatives. Yeah, I spent like over 30 hours just working on it. And there's a lot of things I was figuring out, like how to do this, like how to make the game do what I wanted it to do. And I feel like I did a pretty good job. I figured everything out that I wanted to do. Like releasing nations, making your custom puppets, actually getting the cultures to work right or properly, because for some reason it wasn't. But I figured that out earlier today because one of my friends who I play Victoria 2 with on our multiplayer server, I was asking a bunch of questions and he's like, oh yeah, do this. Well, we were kind of more troubleshooting together because he didn't know the answer exactly, but eventually he found it out before me, so kudos to him. And it helped save everything, and honestly I feel pretty good about how everything turned out. So yeah. And sorry. Usually I cut my videos at about 20 minutes and start recording again, just because if I record for over a certain amount, like 22 minutes, the amount of space the video's taking up causes, I mean, it's because I got this new external solid state drive, so I upload all my videos onto that, because otherwise it takes up a lot of space on my computer. And if any of you guys know video recording, especially HD videos, it takes up a lot of space. So I ended up doing that, and as a result I could only do about 22 minutes. Otherwise, if I go over that, the video file becomes corrupted. And like towards the end of my last series, Germania, there was a good 2 or 3 episodes I was struggling with it. I'm like, what the heck is going on? My videos are stopping and not working properly. But it's been fine. 1600. Yeah, our conservative support should definitely rise, and I'm hoping to maintain it. It's already quite dominant. But yeah, so I'm planning on, well, I think I was talking about earlier. So ModDB, I'm going to put that link in the description. But there's like a bunch of just little tidbits of what's going on in the mod itself, what it does. If you guys are new to my channel or just new to this mod, I did change a few things such as how the infamy system works. At least making it so it goes down a little bit faster. Just because I think like it feels like it makes the world more dynamic if countries are able to actually declare war more often. And 100 years is kind of a shorter period of time. So making it so you can do as much as possible within that short period of time, I feel like makes the game more interesting. Plus I raised the cap up to 30, just for the heck of it. But I don't like going over the infamy cap, just because it seems like it's kind of, especially in the later game, when the Great Wars and everything's supposed to start, you can't ally with any great powers, so you can't really join a great war. So hopefully all these decisions and events that require me to conquer land, it's gonna give me infamy. So chances are you might be over it, but I'm hoping it'll probably take a little bit longer. So we're kind of gonna space things out. At least the way the storyline sort of works, it requires us to just a little bit. So we'll see what happens. Okay. And where are we with reforms? Ugh, what's going on? French Revolution. We're actually almost to westernized. We are almost westernized. It's actually pretty quick. I feel like I've been talking for like, well, I have been talking for like 20 minutes. But I thought I would skip forward, but I guess I haven't. It's our reactionaries. And me, being the dumb I am, never raised my maintenance. Let's just reinforce it then. And which army? So you have 4. You do not have 3, and they're not being built because we need grain. Who knew we could run out of grain? It's weird. If I put that all the way down to 0, that should clear up our grain stockpiles, right? No? Well, that sucks. Grain is in high demand. Who the heck is buying up all the grain? I don't think it says who. Well, sorry guys, no more horsemen. But let us do what I was going to do. What was I going to do? Right, increase this. If you don't have grain, then I guess I'm not going to worry about it. So we will have time between when we westernize and between when the Japanese Civil War starts and we become actual Japan to get all of our armies figured out and everything situated with how we want them to be. And we are really close. We're already at 53.7% literacy. We're at 1.1. And whoa, what's my intellectuals? They decreased. Why did they decrease so much? Is it because we killed the reactionaries? I wouldn't think that intellectuals be part of reactionaries, would they? And there's no rebel factions here. Probably because we killed them all. Are there any movements? Nope, nothing. Okay. And we're gonna grab it in like 10 seconds. Some awesome music in the background. And there we go. Let's westernize. Fairly quick. Activate technology, embrace westernization. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's do it. And now we can switch this over to encourage craftsmen. Is that what we want? If you look at our factories, they already have a ton of craftsmen. What we want are clerks. And let's also build more factories. If we can. Let's expand this one. And what else can we build here? What is our RGO? Cotton. So a fabric factory actually works pretty well. There is grain over here, so if we ever wanted to do anything else like a liquor distillery or canned food, that would be good for this little province. In fact, let's go ahead and build a liquor distillery and see how that turns out. But otherwise, look at this. Let's get idealism and order to expel barbarians. Well, like we got conservatives now. Congrats. Now, can we do anything else? Invent state and government. Nationalism and imperialism. Do we need... Are there any, like, prerequisites before firing that one event? I thought it was just because if people are civilized down here, then it will fire. But that's not the case because I've had it where it doesn't. I know you have to at least be in the 1850s. I could just be saying random things. I don't know what I'm talking about. Charting the course of the Imperial Japan. Now that we have embraced westernization, we must choose the path that Imperial Japan's people will take in the years to come. What civilized ideal will we hold to? Might or order? Order or might? One gives us army tech research. Now that's nice. That's really nice. Less assimilation rate. That's fine. This one gives us better RGO output though. I'm thinking I'm going to go with might just because I do like that army tech research. That's actually really good. That's really good. That's really good. So we'll take it. We do have more techs as far as getting... Yeah. Getting grain. That's what I was talking about. Courage clerks. We do have 400. It's rising pretty quickly, so they are automatically going to take all those spots until it reaches 2,000. You can see it rising pretty quickly. The amount of money we're making off this factory. I want to bet that's all because of the clerks. I don't know if it specifically lists it. Workers, clerks plus 14%, 15%. And that's output efficiency. Yeah, that's really good. That is good. Military parade. I will take the prestige. I like the prestige. We're already number 14. Kudos to us. We're doing pretty good, aren't we? Anyways, the first step to this mod requires us to take Korea and Manchuria. So those are going to be our immediate goals after we win Japan. That's looking pretty good. This is taking a little bit longer than I thought. I would like to get up to state and government, but I'm thinking we should... Oh. Yawning. Get military staff system first. Don't need these so high. In fact, ideally we can have this low, so people don't... well, they can afford things more, be happier, and they won't rebel. More liberals or more liberals? Let's just do that. And campaign for public meetings. Can't say I am going to encourage that too much. We're already at 6 industrial power. And now we're number 13. And this factory just barely expanded, so good. Build machine parts now. So this is 200 days till we finish that. As soon as we hit 4,000 clerks in this factory, maybe we should focus on it now. Plurality. Research points. Great. We got it. So let's go straight for military staff system. Get some dragoons. It's going fairly quickly. And then I don't really need ideological thought until we are Japan. So maybe something else, such as medicine for increased growth rates. Get those Japanese making babies. Or, well, not really making babies, more make sure those babies don't die. It's more the ideal. No more pregnancy deaths. It's the point of medicine, right? We got that. I think we do need to discover it. It's only a 3% base chance. Jeez. Let's get the medicine. And then it'd be nice to work on some of these factory throughputs. Are any of these good? And there's more of the technologies, just technologies that we can discover here. That'll do us pretty good. This is all prestige. No, we want organization, don't we? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Now that is some good stuff. There's one of these. Okay, so market functionality. That's probably the biggest one. No, these are input, output, and throughput. Throughput doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. Don't listen to me. It does matter. I was saying like output efficiency is more important. Because that makes your factory produce more. Instead of needing less. Look at that factory. It's already making us a ton of money. Or it was. Until it stopped. So I'm going to switch over to craftsman. There we go. And that should help out, hopefully. How's our... So we're at 100% state administrative efficiency. That's good. It's really good. In fact, I think we are doing... How's our promotions going? You are being promoted to craftsman at 33% rate. Heavenly Kingdom spawn, but it's not that big. I had it once where it was like half of China, or pretty much all of China. But the vassals of China was the one that's ultimately helped China win. Which is unfortunate because I was hoping they would win. Because I've never seen a Heavenly Kingdom win. I'm actually pretty curious about that. Maybe I'll try that at some point. I don't really know how the event system works. But it seems interesting. Can we build Dragoons? No. I like Dragoons. Dragoons are good because it's a mix between the Cuirassiers. What's it called? Cuirassier? Cuirassier? One sec. Let's do... Well, these are fine. It's at a point where it should be overwhelming against these guys. Whenever we get to that point. Let's try early railroad. Factory throughput tech. What else does it do? Production output. We don't have any of those factory types though, so let's just do the early railroad. Mechanized mining might be pretty good too. But like, we don't have any coal deposits in our territory just yet. And it's not gonna... Probably another 6 years or so before the Civil War occurs. Are these guys... How are these guys doing? They're at 85%. See, they're going the army tech route. That's what they're doing. So we don't want these. In fact, we don't really want any of these. So Social reform desire. We do want social reform desire, though. So, in fact, I am totally fine allowing trade unions. Not so much anything that increases political awareness. And I like this because it gives us cast spell acquisition speed, which helps a lot. Which, if you're watching my Germania campaign, you could tell that it was taking a while to get cast spell eyes. So let's go ahead and get trade unions, state-controlled trade unions. Should work out for our benefit. And how's our factories doing? We have plenty of craftsmen, it looks like, actually. No, we have a ton. Okay, so expand. In fact, I'm going to expand both of you and switch back to clerks. Because 60,000 craftsmen is ideal for that one. And 4,000 clerks. And this one already, yeah, we have too many craftsmen. We need more clerks. We're at 12. I mean, sometimes, I know it says industrializing too early isn't good. But I like it. Can we, wait, we can build tanks now, right? Or not tanks, artillery. Let's actually, what we're going to do is disband this army. Take these armies. So let's get rid of these cavalry. And these as well. So we're going to have 2 armies. What I want to do is put 2 dragoon units in each army. If it loads properly. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 1. And then, ooh, engineers would be good. Maybe. Yeah. So we have 4, we'll have 8 more spots. I do want 4 artillery, though. We'll make the rest artillery. And then, I won't worry about engineers so much. They're not so important for combat. More for I'm not even sure what sieging does. I know reconnaissance is the big one. Really compromised. Good for you guys. USA this game won't look wonky. They already took out Mexico. It's very non-wonky looking at USA. My last game they took Chihuahua and they lost all of this, so it was looking really weird. Okay, our clerks are just clicking everywhere. No, we do need more clerks still. Railroad maximum level, which we could build ourselves. And let's not forget the naval base. Let's put one in. I would like to put one in Kyoto. And here, let's do iron loaded artillery. And I think we're reaching about time to end this episode. So, thank you all for watching. And see you next time. Bye. As always, please leave a like down below and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content just like this and more frequent uploads. If you have any suggestions, please go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'll see you next time.